Plato's Lysis seems on the surface to be a delightful little dialogue on friendship. We are introduced to a playful Socrates. He converses with a group of young boys, sharing with them his desire to have friends. From my earliest childhood, I have had a particular fancy. Everyone has. One longs for horses, another for dogs, a third for money, a fourth for office. For my part, I look on these matters with equanimity, but on the acquisition of friends with all a lover's passion, and I would choose to obtain a good friend rather than the best quail or cock in the world. I should prefer one to both horse and dog. Nay, I fully believe that I would far sooner acquire a friend and companion than all the gold of Darius. Aye, or than Darius himself. So fond am I of friendship. Anyone even slightly familiar with Platonic metaphysics has probably heard the idea that we each desire what we think is good, even when we do things that we know to be bad in some way, hurtful to others, or immoral in some way. We still do it because we expect it to be for our ultimate benefit. This theory is not fully laid out here, but we see hints of this notion that we each have our eye on some good. Socrates goes on from here to state the difficulty that this creates for him. On seeing, therefore, you and Lysis, I am lost in wonder, while I count you most happy at your being able, at your years, to acquire this treasure with such readiness and ease, in that you, Menexenus, have gained so early and true a friend in Lysis, and he the same in you, while I, on the contrary, am so far from making the acquisition that I do not even know how one man becomes a friend of another. But I wish on this very point to appeal to you as a connoisseur. Answer me this. As soon as one man loves another, which of the two becomes the friend? The lover of the loved, or the loved of the lover? Or does it make no difference? At first, this seems like a silly question, or perhaps it is one that would pull us into the weeds of analytic philosophy, parsing out definitions and syntax. Surprisingly, though, Plato used this as a diving-off point to bring us to contemplate the good itself. Sometimes it's called the transcendent first cause, and he looks at this as our ultimate object of desire. It is for the sake of this that we do all that we do. But perhaps I need to back up a few steps. So Lysis is generally categorized as one of the early dialogues. This means that it is introducing readers to metaphysical concepts that are explored more fully in later dialogues. And that is exactly what Plato is doing here. I will link at the end an earlier video that I made that gives a comprehensive summary of this dialogue. What I would like to do here is to focus specifically on the development of philosophical practice as a return to the good. Okay, so Socrates and his companions have some discussion on whether good desires bad, or does bad desire good, or maybe like desires like. Socrates says, "Well, the poets, if I mistake not, put forward no slight claims to those who happen to be friends, but tell us it is God himself who makes them friends, by leading them one to another. And also with the writings of those learned sages, which tell the same story, namely, that like must of necessity be ever friendly with like. And these are they, if I mistake not, who talk and write on nature and the universe. Socrates goes on to explain it this way. But they mean to say, I imagine, that the good are like and friendly with the good, but that the bad, as is remarked of them in another place, are never even like themselves, but are variable and not to be reckoned upon. And if a thing be unlike and at variance with itself, it will be long, I take it, before it becomes like to or friendly with anything else. And so in this way, Plato has introduced his readers to a number of concepts, the like and the unlike. We also see these terms linked to his idea of good and of bad. Bad is in the sense of being unlike and at variance with itself. And then, as the conversation progresses, Socrates slips in the beautiful as connected to the good. Now I am of this opinion, because the good, I assert, is beautiful. But Socrates has one more term to introduce, the neutral, that which is neither good nor bad. I further assert with a diviner's foresight that to the beautiful and good, that which is neither good nor evil is friendly. And my reasons for divining this I will tell you. I conceive I recognize three distinct classes: good, evil, and thirdly, that which is neither good nor evil. As a quick side note, I want to point out here that the word evil is not being used in the Judeo-Christian sense of the word. It is the same Greek word that is sometimes translated as bad, and so it refers to that which is not at unity with itself. In regards to a soul, then, it is more in line with being unhealthy than being sinful. And for the Hellenes, this state of soul can be remedied through the practice of philosophy. Well, going back to the text now, Socrates draws a conclusion from this statement, which is reminiscent of a similar discussion in the dialogue Symposium. We may further assert that those who are already wise are no longer friends to wisdom, be they gods or be they men, nor again to those friends to wisdom who are so possessed of foolishness as to be evil. For no evil and ignorant man is a friend to wisdom. There remains, then, those who possess indeed this evil, the evil of foolishness, but who are not as yet, in consequence of it, foolish or ignorant, but still understand that they do not know the things they do not know. And thus, you see, it is those who are neither good nor evil as yet that are friends to wisdom, or philosophers. But those who are evil are not friends, nor again are the good. And now, finally, with all these concepts introduced, Socrates is ready to introduce the first cause, or that for the sake of which we do all we do. To demonstrate this, here is an excerpt of Socrates' discussion with one of the boys, Menexenus. The sick man, as we just now said, is a friend to the physician, is he not? He is. On account of sickness, for the sake of health? Yes. Sickness is an evil? Beyond a doubt. But what is health? A good, an evil, or neither one nor the other? It's a good. We further stated, I think, that the body, a thing neither good nor evil, is, on account of sickness, that is to say, on account of an evil, a friend to the medical art. And the medical art is a good. And it is for the sake of health that the medical art has received the friendship. And health is a good, is it not? It is. Is the body a friend or not a friend to health? A friend. and a foe to sickness? Most decidedly. That then, it appears, which is neither good nor evil, is a friend to good on account of an evil to which it is a foe, for the sake of a good to which it is a friend? So it seems. In other words, that which is neither good nor evil, the body, is a friend to good, the medical art, on account of an evil, sickness, to which it is a foe, for the sake of a good, health, to which it is a friend. Now, on one level, this conversation is nothing terribly significant. I mean, of course we go to a doctor for the sake of health. And to go back to the original topic of friendship, we can add that of course we seek friendships that benefit us. I mean, a healthy friendship, it's not toxic or abusive. So all that is well and good. But this is a philosophical dialogue, and this is Plato. And so I think it is perfectly fair to ask, so what? What is the point here? Well, I would argue that the point is that all that Socrates is saying in this mundane example of physical health is analogous to the philosophical quest for the health of the soul. The philosopher, who is neither good nor evil, is friends to the teacher who is good. Now, this teacher may come in the form of a living person or one that we know from books such as Plato or Socrates. And for those who have come to recognize communication with their daimon, this too is an example of a teacher, albeit a disembodied one. And the philosopher is friends with this teacher, whoever this may be, on account of an evil, ignorance, and for the sake of a good, wisdom. Now, the student at this early stage in the dialogues has not yet studied metaphysics, but with that future study will gain some understanding of the intelligible realm, or what we sometimes call reality itself. In the symposium, the experience of this as divine light is called beauty itself. This is the nature of the good, but the good itself transcends all this and is its cause. This, then, is what I say we must consider, in order that all those other things to which we said we were friendly, for the sake of that one thing, may not, like so many shadows of it, lead us into error, but that we may establish that thing as the first, to which we are really and truly friends. In other words, that for the sake of which we do all we do is the good itself, the true friend, the veritable friend. The challenge for us is to take this mundane discussion and see its analog on the higher level. Take this conclusion from Socrates, for example. When we say we are friendly with things for the sake of a thing to which we are friendly, do we not clearly use a term with regard to them which belongs to another? And do we not appear to be in reality friendly only with that in which all these so-called friendships terminate? Our pursuit of philosophy is for the sake of returning to the good. We want to experience its divine luminosity and to understand that which emits this beauty, this light. This conversation about friendship with a group of young boys ends at a standstill. But in the course of this short dialogue, Plato has given us all the terms and concepts we need to commence our journey back to the good. Socrates ends by stating, "We have not as yet been able to discover what we mean by a friend." That discovery is one that Plato has left for each of us. Well, thank you for joining me on this excursion into Plato's Lysis. I would love to read your thoughts in the comments section. And as always, I thank you for watching. Till next time.